Alrighty, y'all. It has been 6 months, actually, now that I think about it. It's been 6 months since I've gotten back on the pod, and it's been 6 months. It's been a while, y'all. It was nothing against anyone, nothing like that. Not that it would be against anyone, but I think I fell into a funk of I just got busy trading, dance, life, and I was like, man, I need a little bit of a break just so I can refresh and bring some things back to you guys. And not just that, I remember I was trying to get people to jump on the pod so that way it wasn't just me, because I'm like, yeah, just me is kind of boring. And on top of that, too, you guys, if you see me kind of staring back and forth, I'm actually monitoring the camera here. As you can see, camera quality is different. We're actually shooting on an iPhone 17 Pro right now, trying it out, seeing what's good. A lot of people said that the log on here is the way to go from a camera and video people. It's been dope so far. As you can see, I got charts set up. I'm actually going to trade on GJ right now and in profit, floating in gold as well. Got the sells going. GJ's kind of wanting to do a weird thing where GJ does what it wants to do. You know, I'm in sells, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, old fashioned here. Got my old fashioned here provided by Penelope and Mundine's pick. I actually decided to put some of their toasted in here, which is really good. So cheers to y'all on this one. Oh, that's good. That is really good. Again, I don't condone drinking if you're not over the age of 21. Yes. So not just that, probably over the age of 25 because, yeah. Anyways, so that's where we're at, y'all. Life's been lifing. Things have been kind of chaotic. Things have been really good. Obviously, I don't have enough time to kind of sort everything because I want to go on babbling about it because some of you have been following along. But I promise you that this is going to be hopefully a once a month now thing, especially coming out of it. I felt like I was in full disobedience against what God was trying to tell me to do. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, I got to be perfect about it. Like, I fell into this funk of like almost like, if you guys want to be vulnerable, I was like, what are people thinking? Like, is it the fact? I think at first I was really exhausted, and it turned into this thing where I was like, you know what? Why am I doing this? It is exhausting. It's a lot on me. Like I don't even know if people are really listening to me, and those are all lies. Those are all lies that I kept telling myself continuously, because of the fact that I know people were telling me how much they enjoyed it, how much people actually tuned in, how much people were actually listening. So these were just lies. And for some reason, as the months went, I just kept going in that funk. Like, I don't have enough. How am I even supposed to ever, be able to do this for people? Like, who's actually going to take their time to actually listen to me? And I really just didn't believe it. And here I am, right? Like, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I need to come back, especially after reading my word and sitting in the Bible. I'm like, yo, there's a verse that hit me so hard. And it was just like, you know, I knew right then in that moment, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I've been in disobedience. I know what you're looking for out of me. And at the end of the day, if this fails, then it doesn't really go anywhere. And I did enjoy this. Like I enjoy it now. Obviously, as you can see, we have a new setup, new office space, all of these things. Brand is completely rolling through. Like for everyone that still supports and buys things and just is always sharing and observing, I appreciate you guys a lot because again, I've always said this, it's always been about the message. Like the brand stands for the fact that I do believe everyone is resilient if you are willing to step into it. Like I don't want to just hand the brand over to anyone in that manner with who I partner with, who may be associated with it at all. Like the brand is so important and it's mostly for the message to understand like, hey, yes, we take the word and we can call ourselves resilient, but are you doing those things daily, right? So that's that with a brand. And maybe one of these days I'll really jump into a pod and discussion of what that's like and why I built it for that. But we can save that for a whole nother day. But if you do want to go see it, hey, it's at mightyandvictorious.com. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it is on MVR underscore clothing underscore. That's where you can find it at. I'll make sure I tag it somewhere in here now that I can do all these nice, cool little things and all that good stuff, y'all. So, yeah, y'all, it was good. Clearly, I would say welcome back to the Shaping of a Man. It's been a minute. I have enjoyed this. I am going to really try and go full forward into this, especially after, like I said, reading this verse, y'all. This word right here then convicted me so hard after getting into it. So if you want to take your time, for those of you who are believers, non-believers, I welcome you all. I don't care if you do believe or if you're on the verge of believing or you're curious or if you're a non-believer, atheist, whatever you may be, you're still welcome here. Like, I'm not that person who's going to be like, well, you don't believe it? Like, that's crazy work. I'm never going to push anything on you. I was saved 3 years ago. I think now close to three, maybe four now. I'm having a hard time remembering right now. But at the end of the day, I wasn't saved at a pulpit. I wasn't saved anywhere specific. I was saved right here in the living room right next to me, where I feel like I had an encounter with the Lord that I cannot deny anymore. And truly, to this day, it was really him. So that's where I'm at. If you guys want to get your word out, for those of you who have a word, for those of you who don't have the word and you're just here for the message, hey, I'm going off of what I here is giving me some good information, and I feel like maybe this will bring something to whoever may need it, and wherever it may be, you'll see me kind of going back and forth. But for those of you, if you want to turn to Ecclesiastes 11:4, I'm going to probably mispronounce it. It is a big word, y'all. Ecclesiastes 11:4, specifically chapter 11, verse 4. The whole chapter is phenomenal. So if you want to read it, it's a shorter one. Go ahead and read it, dissect it however you want. But when I read verse 4, y'all, it felt like it punched me right in the gut. So give you guys a bit of a minute to go there. Not a minute, but a couple of seconds. Man, this old fashioned is really good right now. And again, for whoever's going to sit here and say, like, always having a drink with this Bible next to him and about to read a verse, like, I'm not going to debate you on any of that stuff. Just know that I'm not doing this to get drunk and crazy or drunk. It's a good casual drink. But moving on. Here we go. Have some notes, some things that I wrote down now that I can have a layout and all this good stuff. Hands-free. Yeah, here we go. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. One more time. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. So you can sit on this one, and it's short and it's easy, right? Like, if you, of course, I read out of the King James Version right now, just in case why using the thou and all these crazy words. Y'all, this verse alone holds a lot for something so small, and this even brings me to something that I have written later, where, like, I know that God likes to use things that we call small or little and turn them into big things. This verse, small, very easy to remember, but yet it is packed with so much. Right off the bat, this is kind of where it hit me, because this is where I was struggling with the pod. I wasn't getting subscribers, maybe wasn't getting views. I usually don't let the whole view thing, actually, that's probably at the bottom of the barrel or the bottom of the list, let's call it, or even the subscribers or any of that. Honestly, the thing that hit me the most was the fact of looking dumb, looking stupid, feeling dumb. Like, what is this? What is the purpose of it? It's just literally me here, my computer, this, and then I got this camera in front of me. Like, what is it for? It doesn't make any sense. It's cringy. I'm not a content creator. I've never wanted to do it. Like, I never wanted to grow up and be a content creator. If I'm going to be honest with you, I wanted to grow up and be a day trader and have my own brand. That was it. There was no other if, ands, in betweens, nothing like that. It was just simply that. Now, when this thing that was holding me back, where I'm like, okay, what is it that's holding me back? Is it the fact of being a content creator? Is it the fact that I'm not, I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but it's clearly it was something, right, that was holding me back from the fact of what I wanted to do and or get to a certain point. And when I sit here and I think about it a little more and I start to observe what was holding me back, it was just that. It was simply the fear of not knowing and too scared to invest into what I feel like I felt was kind of dumb. Because I'm like, God, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why am I going to put myself out there if I am one of those people who I'd like to remain private? I'm going to be honest with you. If I could have had the brand without a face on it, I probably would have not done it that way, but it just didn't make sense, especially not trying to grow. And when I sit here and I try to study this word just a little bit more, one of the things that causes me to think that many others are struggling with this is I see it on a day-to-day basis, right? You're scared that maybe somewhere along the lines you're going to look dumb. Maybe you're even scared of the fact that, okay, what's my friends going to think? My friends are going to laugh at me, my coworkers, my peers. It doesn't really matter, right? And I think it's hard to see that as you're maybe in your younger ages, but as you get older, you really start to see like, yo, no one really cares. And most of the times it ends up being the strangers who end up supporting you the most because they clap the loudest all the time, right? I've said this where if you really want to see who's by your side, start a business. Take a leap of faith, jump. You know what I mean? Like there's something that has to be done in order for you to even proceed into it. Because if you sit here and you observe everything that goes by and it happens, right? You'll see that if you watch other people build something that you should have been building, right? If you watch the wind before you even start sowing, you're going to watch everyone around you start building what they took the leap in. You start watching people build a business, maybe even a following, whatever it is, or whatever it is that you're looking for, right? It could be simple and easy. You start to get this like envious feeling towards that. And I know it's unspoken of, but when you're on the other end and you're like sitting here and you're making up every single excuse as to why you didn't make the leap, first you start feeling petty towards those people, whether it's close friends, not close friends, maybe family members, or even strangers. You almost try to find every way to discredit anything that they're doing. And that's not the case, right? Because you're solely doing it out of your own insecurity. Your own insecurity is causing you to have this sort of hatred or some sort of feeling towards other people. And most people don't talk about that. And then you start making up every excuse for yourself, right? You start saying, well, I don't have the right tools. I don't have the right amount. Maybe I don't even have the right layout for it, whatever it was. Like you guys saw me in some of my old videos. Like I started this on audio and then some of the video quality wasn't the best when it went to video. Some of it is choppy. I'm going to be honest with you, even just watching, learning how to use this program and all these things and these apps and watching the audio level spike. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking like some of this is going to be really loud and very obnoxious maybe in certain parts because I didn't tone the audio right, whatever it may be. So there's a lot of things, but one of the biggest things that I can tell you is that just take the leap. Like if you actually read the beginning of the chapter, it talks about how back then they didn't even know if they were going to get their investment back. They would send like goods and stuff over the ships overseas. Now, taking consideration, when people were going overseas, they weren't guaranteed that it was coming back. Like you went to go sell, all your things on a boat, you put it on there, you put some of your farming things, maybe vegetation, whatever it was that you were selling, and you trust for it to go overseas and come back and bring profit. And this was before the weather people. Let's just put it at that, right? Like now, even weathermen can't even predict what's really going on, but somehow back then they were willing to take the risk of whether the season was right to start farming, whether the season was right to start sowing, or whatever it may be. So as you can see that they didn't even have a proper risk management, because again, that's what we do when it comes to here, like trading, right? You have to take a look at what you're risking and see what your outcome was. But when the trip was successful, when they go from overseas to come back, um, clearly it was successful, right? So they made the profit out of it. So with this leads me to most people who stay frozen in their tracks usually do the blame game, like I was talking about earlier, right? You stay in what we call in trading, we call analysis paralysis, right? When you overanalyze something for so long and you keep looking at it and you keep marking it up, you keep redoing it and all these things, you essentially end up freezing in a trade. You don't even go in on a trade. Why? Because you have analysis paralysis, right? You start looking at other people's analysis. You start looking at other people who are into trading, or you look at other people who might be, into the same pair that you are, and this goes for anything. You might start looking at someone who's a dancer and they got more followers, better choreography, different videos. And the thing that I've learned is just do it. When you're scared, just do it, right? Like you're bound to find out, and if you fail, just get up and do it again. But the worst thing that you can do is just sit there and overanalyze every single little thing in detail, what you need to do. I think details are important, but you're talking to someone who, again, this is bad advice on my part. I'm willing to take the jump without anything being put into detail. Like I usually just jump, like straight up jump, and I'll figure it out as it goes. Now, other things in my life, I do like to have a really good structure. But when I say, hey, I'm going to do something, you'll find me actually taking the leap. Where most people, I feel like they're overanalyzing every little thing and how to make it work, and it's just not working. And by the time you overanalyze for a good couple months, and some people overanalyze for a year, what could you have done in that year that could have put work into what you wanted to do originally? What mistakes could you have learned from that you wanted to do from that one thing you were trying to do, right? Like you had a whole year underneath your belt and figured out, okay, I could have done this better, this better. So by the time you get to the first year of doing that thing, you could have refined it. But too many people are literally trying to game plan for a whole year and then end up not doing it or end up doing something else. And it's like, just take the leap. You can't just stay frozen in your tracks. And one of the biggest things that I see too as well, right, as you can see, he that observeth the wind shall not sow. Like you can stay observing every single person. And when you're sitting there observing every person, what they're doing, what they're gaining, how they're succeeding, maybe they're even going forward and completing certain things, like the enviness starts to build in people because I've had it happen. I was guilty of it where I'm like, man, they're doing this, they're flourishing in this. Actually, the clothing brand was a dream in 2015, and I watched someone else kind of take the same direction that I wanted to take back then. Now, not to say that they took the idea because that's not what I'm saying, but it's like, man, where could that have been if I would have stuck with it, right? And now I'm like, I feel like I'm behind because everyone is flourishing in their clothing brand. But that's not the case because I have to look at myself and look at those people. Like we had the same set of 24 hours. You guys have the same set of 24 hours that I do. Like I know that people have different lives and the things that they go through. But again, you have to be able to sacrifice certain things, right? Time management. Where are you going whenever you feel like you need to, whatever it may be, like where are you wasting your time where like, okay, I need to go out and have a couple of drinks with some friends and go out and party instead of just locking yourself in and really sitting down at the desk or wherever it may be and just putting in the work. Me and you have the same 24 hours, and on top of that, the next 24 hours aren't even guaranteed. So why are we sitting here in hesitation of even just sowing the seed? Like you're asking God, hey, look, Lord, I've got your seed. I got this, man. Like I want more. I want more. He's looking at you and he's like, brother, you still got the same seed I gave you 3 years ago in your hand. Like how can you beg for more when you haven't done anything with the first thing that's sitting in your hand? And that's where I'm finding it hard to believe for a lot of people when they tell me, I want to do this, but I can't do it because of this. And I'm like, I think there comes a point where if you wanted it that bad, you would figure it out. Again, I understand everyone has a different story and circumstances, but you've got to be able to take the lead, man. You can't just sit here and ask for more when you're still holding the thing that was given to you originally in your hand. It makes zero sense to me on that part. And again, moving on. You aren't guaranteed the same amount of hours every single day. You're not guaranteed that you're going to be back in the same position that you were in, right? A lot of us have jobs and those jobs are never even secure. Some of us have things that might pop up, family things happen, situation things happen. Like you look back and you're like, man, I should have been doing this. I should have been doing that. But again, it's just one of those things where how are you going to prioritize your time, right? And one of the things I wrote here is, let's see, one of the things I was really guilty of is the fact that I kept saying I didn't have it. I don't have these things on the table. How do I do it? I was throwing the pity party. I was throwing the pity party where I'm like, I don't have this. I don't have the income. I don't have anything. I don't have the tools. I don't have the support. But it's like you can make those things, right? Like you can make the income. You can try to save up whatever it may be, you or whatever it may be. Like for those who are like, well, I need my 10 hours of sleep. Like there's going to be times where like if you want to jump into full entrepreneurship, like I'm one of those people who I wanted to do entrepreneurship and that's what I'm doing now and I love it. But my sleep schedule is completely done for, like done, right? I enjoy it now. Like obviously now I have a balance of it. I get to sit here and do these things. Like it is almost 9 o'clock right now. After this, I'm probably going to stream on Twitch, have some fun, play some video games. I'll probably stay up to like one in the morning, maybe wake up around 6, 7. But that's kind of no, that's not a 6, 7 kind of thing. For those who want to cut it out, my goodness, I can't believe I just did that. That was an accident. But I'll usually wake up around like 6 or 7, and I'll end up watching the markets, seeing what I got to do, see if I can enter a trade, exit a trade, whatever it may be, right? But again, I know that this comes with a sacrifice, but the hard work will essentially get you to those times where you can actually sleep in, right? Like having these moments actually allows me to have, I think it's like 3 weeks off here in December of completely nothing, just spending time with my family and doing what I want to do. And that's one of the biggest blessings that I've gotten from God is just having that free time, right? Because that's what a lot of people search for. Everyone's wealth is going to look completely different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just whatever you want to make out of it. Now, let's see. Oh, okay, so I've kind of already touched base on this, but you know, one of the biggest things is that whenever you're asking for anything and you want all these details online, like it's never going to be guaranteed. You can have a foolproof game plan, but it's not going to work 100% to perfection of how you want it to work. Now, could it be close enough? Yeah, some of you might be really good at it and execute whatever game plan it is to full perfection. But even for like my older crowd, let's just go here for a second. Like some of you might think you're like 30 and up, 40 and up, and you're like I'm too old to do this, I'm too old to do that. Like that's a lie. You have the capability and ability to do whatever it is that you would like to do. You just got to be able to take the leap, and now you just got to make that conversation with your spouse or your family and be like, hey, this is what I would like for you, the ability to do and or sorry, have the support from you guys to help me do these things, right? And even for my younger crowd, like you might think I'm too young to do this, whatever it is. Like no, start like you have so many tools available to you. Like it is easier beyond anything. I hate to say it, but like ChatGPT, AI, anything, like you have all these tools. You have Google, you have like literally a smart device in your hand that you use every day, but you just decide to scroll on TikTok all day. Like you're doom scrolling for no reason, right? I'm guilty of it too, whatever it may be, but I literally try not to a lot. I get my good laugh, whatever it is, and I leave, right? But again, allowing yourself to give that space and understand like the risk is always going to be weighed out, right? You got to weigh the risk out. And then from there, you can go ahead and figure out whether that risk is worth taking or not. Oh my God. Um, and again, this is the part of the passage where it was written by Solomon and right? Let me see. Yes, it was Solomon. Wow. Towards the end of his life, and obviously he's older and he's looking back at the good and the bad. And a lot of us, we don't even see the wisdom in a lot of things until we get older. So for my younger crowd, you might think like, why should I listen to some of my older people? Why should I listen to, whatever it may be? And it's the best thing I've said before. I'll stick to this and I'll continuously keep saying this because I believe in it very, very much. I think everyone should have a mentor. I think everyone should find a mentor who can help them, whatever it is or whatever it may be. I to this day probably have about like five, right? I don't let myself just sit here and like not have these things. I don't like being the smartest person in the room. There are days where it feels uncomfortable because it feels like you're full of it. Not that I put myself in those type of rooms. Again, I shouldn't even apologize for these kinds of things because the insecurities are coming out because I know I'm a smart person to a lot. I know how to do a lot of things, right? Trying to do trading, dance, run a pod, clothing brand, like you've got to be somewhat smart to be able to do these things, not to go on bragging about any of that, but it's work. It's a lot of work and a lot of studying. So finding a mentor who can help you in all these things and even going to, you know, getting healthy physically, spiritually, and mentally, like you need a mentor for these things. And if you're going to be hesitant to ever sow these seeds and to literally just watch as the wind just goes by every single time, I'm telling you, your rewards are never going to be there. And one of the things that I'm starting to see is that we've we've we have to be able to recognize like where what's the best way I can word this? We have to be able to diagnose where hesitation is kicking in because there's hesitation that we're not, why we're not taking this jump or why we're not doing the things we want to do. There's some sort of hesitation that's causing us to hold back, right? And again, if you reread that verse going back into Ecclesiastes, he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and thou that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. Like you're regarding almost everyone's opinion, right? If you're sitting there regarding the winds and the clouds and whether it's going to rain, not going to rain, or this and that, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Like you're going to end up just falling apart. I'm sorry, but you can't stay like that any longer. Like it doesn't make sense to me, right? So go in and diagnose where that hesitation is coming from and where it's rooted from. Is it really from the fact of fear, uncomfortability, not feeling safe, or really caring what other people say? And this leads me into one of the things, like simply for me, it was fear. It was fear of the fact of what are people going to think? Is my past going to catch up to me? How is he at this point? How is he following God? How is he praising Jesus? How is he talking about Jesus? I knew who he was, and I'm sorry. Like things changed. What do you want me to do, right? And I've got to be confident in all the things that I'm doing because I can trust myself as a leader. And if I don't trust myself as a leader, how can anyone else trust me as a leader, right? Um, and whatever it is, it's just based off of fear. Like if we're going psychologically, right? Fear is in us to protect us and from pain and from embarrassment. But spiritually, it's literally to block obedience. Like now let's go into this in a spiritual manner, right? If you guys say you trust in God and all these things, I'm telling you disobedience, you're in sin, right? If that's where we want to go, I'm not going to condemn anyone for their sin because we all are sinners by nature. And it's the fact of disobedience is one of the things that withholds you from what you're going for. Like you say you trust God, but I'm gonna be honest. Like some of you, you say you trust God, you trust wow, you say you trust God, but your harvest tells me otherwise, right? Your harvest shows me that you don't. Your harvest is empty. Your harvest is lacking. You're not, again, you're sitting there with the seeds in your hand and you're asking everyone what to do with it, but at the end of the day, he told you what to do, right? Like you've made comfort your God. You've made comfort your God. You've made other people your God. You've made other things your idol. You've made your worriness your idol. You've made fear your idol because you're too scared to take this jump, right? And this kind of pretty much puts us right towards the end of where I'm trying to go with it. Like I know maybe it's a weird time and maybe it's a perfect time. Like we're coming towards the end of the season when a lot of people are going to plan like New Year's, new goals, all these things. And I've said it before, like the very first pod I ever said is like New Year, same me. You know what I mean? Like it's the fact that you've got to give it time. I'm sorry, but sometimes things aren't going to happen quick. The internet is a liar. I'm going to tell you that. The internet is a liar. Not everything happens overnight. Is it possible? Yeah, sure. I've seen a lot of crazy things be done overnight, but don't let the internet fool you on that one, right? But if you're going to sit here and say that you trust God, let your harvest actually be proof of it, right? Instead of just preaching it. Um, and if you're anything like me and you're an overthinker and you're an over observer and your thoughts are always controlling you, right? Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. You've got to be able to measure your obedience and understand that if you were to obey, those thoughts would probably go away, right? If you truly believed in faith and if you were faithful to your journey with God, you would probably be able to understand that faith should override your overthinking, right? Because if you're too busy having faith, and I've said it before, the faith acronym for me is forward against individual thresholds, right? Again, the threshold that's holding you back is, again, your overthinking, your negative thoughts, whatever it may be that you think people will think of you. So if you truly are faithful, you should be forward and like literally plowing through those things. Now, here's the last thing that I'm going to lay down for a lot of you because this is kind of where maybe there was a weird thing for me. I don't know what it was, and maybe it's just me in my head again. Your consistency and your obedience is going to make others uncomfortable. And I've said this before, too many of us won't reach the goals because we're too scared to make the people around us uncomfortable. Because we're achieving or we're doing certain things, right? Like, oh, look at him. He's a brand new person. Oh, he's changed. Oh, he's acting brand new. Whatever it may be, right? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you stayed the same. I'm sorry that literally our entire existence of evolution was for us to, again, change. God created us to change. Humans are meant to change. We are meant to change. And at the end of the day, if you're still in the same position, going to the same bar, going to the same place, hanging out with the same people, having the same circle, or having the same circumstances that still keep beating you up, then you need to reevaluate yourself in your life right now, right? Because if you want a full garden of harvest, a full field of harvest, you need to be dedicated in obedience and consistency. And that consistency, it might be something that someone else needs. I fell off on this pod. I fell off by not putting myself out there. And maybe this was too boring or maybe this was not good enough for people. I fell off and I was in disobedience when I know for a fact someone was getting something out of this and I was being selfish because I wanted to protect myself from feeling down. Your consistency and your obedience is going to be the main thing that God needs to use for you to flourish and move on to the next level or to the next season of your life, right? So this is where I wrap it up for you guys. And I say this with love, right? Some of you are simply disguising avoidance and calling it faith. I'm going to leave that one there. Some of you are simply disguising avoidance and calling it faith. Your avoidance is literally withholding you from what you need to achieve right now. Procrastination is killing you. And I promise you that this is the message I leave you hopefully going into the following year that you can look back at and be like, man, I really needed that word. I needed that pod. I needed that verse. Because I'm looking at this right now and I'm like, man, this is actually a lot better than I thought. I needed it. Someone else needs it. And I'm going to hope that if you hear this, let me know if you needed it. I want to hear the struggle because I get to grow from that struggle as well. It makes me happy. Maybe the part where I need the reassurance to understand, hey, you actually needed this pod and you listened to it. It makes me feel good too. So that's it, y'all. That's all I got for y'all. It's been a minute. I'm actually glad to be back. It feels like there's like a weight off my chest and I'm actually happy about doing this. Like I could laugh and smile right now, right? Like this is enjoyable to me. I don't know why. It's therapeutic. But I hope this comes out well. I hope that the quality of this new setup is great. I'm going to try to keep refining it and doing it better. And I've got to get better at some things. So for now, please excuse me on that part. But I hope that going into this new year, this new season, I hope that you really, really take this word into consideration and understand that if you want a field to flourish, you need to fully live in that obedience and get over the thought of what people may think. Make the content, post the photo, do whatever it is. Take the leap, take the investment, take the job. Obviously, don't be reckless, okay? Because don't take this out of context and say, you know what, I'm gonna shut down the whole business and I'm gonna go whatever it may be, right? Like you still have to plan accordingly and be responsible. But at the end of the day, if God doesn't tell you to do it, then you shouldn't do it. Okay. And if even if you do it and it wasn't him, guess what? Oh, it wasn't God and you just do it again. So y'all, if you tuned in today, I've missed y'all. I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you guys have a wonderful year that's coming up and a happy New Year's. And peace out. And thank you for coming to the Shaping of a Man. Peace.